Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why do people treat me the way they do? Why do they interrupt you mid-sentence like your opinion doesn't matter? Why do they ignore you in a group setting, look past you as if you're invisible, or remember everyone's name, except yours? Why do they mock your sensitivity, your pain, your choices, or worse, why do they take everything you give, use you, and then disappear as if you never existed? Maybe, you're that person. The one who's always available. Who says yes even when you're exhausted. Who stays silent just to avoid conflict. Who forgives too quickly, even when no one apologizes. And what do you get in return? Contempt. Indifference. Silence. Now ask yourself, do you feel like you're not being respected? But here's the hard truth, you don't know how to break the cycle. So, you keep accepting. You keep trying. You keep hoping that one day, someone will finally recognize your worth. But that day never comes, does it? Carl Jung once said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. And maybe that's exactly why you're still stuck in this pattern. Because respecting yourself takes courage. It requires something terrifying, looking inward. You have to admit that you have a role in this. As long as you ignore yourself, others will too. This isn't about blaming you. It's about waking up. So, if you're tired of being disrespected, by friends, family, partners, co-workers, it's time to understand why it keeps happening. It's time to take control of your emotional life. Let's go deeper. The world around you. It's not as chaotic as it seems. It's actually a reflection, a brutal mirror of your inner world. Now, think, do people disrespect you because they're bad? Selfish? Cold? Maybe, but here's what's harder to accept, they might just be reacting to how you've presented yourself. Or more accurately, how you haven't. Every time you stay silent in the face of injustice, every time you accept being treated as less, you're communicating something loud and clear, this is how I see myself. This is how I allow myself to be treated. Carl Jung believed that the external world reflects our unconscious. The disrespect, the dismissals, the pain, they're symbolic echoes of how you treat yourself internally. When you don't recognize your own worth, the world reflects that back to you. You project insecurity, and that's exactly what people respond to. Again, this is not about blaming you. It's about liberating you. Maybe you learned as a child that being good meant staying quiet. That being accepted meant always giving in. That love meant submission. And now, those childhood scripts are still playing in your mind. Guiding your choices. Silencing your voice. You've internalized a dangerous idea, that your worth depends on others validating it. So, you shrink. You mold yourself. You become less, not out of malice, but out of habit. An unconscious habit. And unless you bring it into the light, unless you consciously confront it, the cycle will continue. You can change cities. Jobs. Relationships. But the pattern will follow. Because it's inside you. Jung said, what is not brought to consciousness manifests as fate. Until you face how you see yourself, you will keep living out situations that prove your own invisibility. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve, even if that belief is buried deep in your unconscious. But here's the good news, there is a way out. It starts with a shift so simple, yet so frightening, stop seeking respect from others. Start building it within. So let me ask you this. Why are you still trying to prove your worth? You've spent your life doing that. Trying to be the perfect child, the perfect partner, the reliable friend. Always adjusting, always pleasing. And what did you get? Momentary approval. But not real respect. Because here's the truth, people pleasers are not respected. They are used. Carl Jung talked about the persona, the mask we wear to be accepted by society. It's necessary. But dangerous. Because if you become that mask, you forget who you really are. You become a polite ghost. Pleasant to be around, but forgettable. Useful, but not respected. Here's what no one tells you: the more you try to prove your worth, the more you signal that you don't believe in it. People who respect themselves don't need to prove anything. They don't do favors in exchange for affection. They're not afraid of displeasing others, because they live with integrity. But to live like that, you have to break a core belief, that respect is something you earn from others. It's not. It's something you give yourself, and then the world follows. So how do you begin? You start by saying a word you've been terrified of for years: no. Saying no is the first act of self-respect. It tells the world, and yourself, that you matter. That your time matters. That your peace matters. But guilt will show up. Because when you start saying no, the people who benefited from your silence will get uncomfortable. They'll resist. They'll guilt you. But remember this: your limit exposes their abuse. And that hurts, for both of you. Still, it's a necessary pain. Every time you say no to the world, you're saying yes to yourself. And that yes? It's the beginning of something powerful. The return of your voice. The rebirth of your authority. But there's a deeper reason why you find it hard to set boundaries. It lives in your shadow. Your shadow is made up of everything you were told to hide: your anger, your needs, your defiance, your strength. You buried it. But it never died. It waits underground, and it sabotages you when you try to stand tall. It whispers, "Better not. Don't rock the boat. Be nice." Think about it: how many times did you want to speak up, but didn't? How many times did you accept something that hurt you, just to keep the peace? That peace wasn't peace. It was submission. If you want to be respected, you have to reclaim what you buried. Not to become harsh or cold, but to become whole. So now, I'll ask you, are you ready to stop betraying yourself? Start by noticing where your boundaries are crossed. Speak up, even if your voice shakes. Don't apologize for your feelings. Just communicate. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Distance yourself from those who don't. It won't be easy. The emotional patterns you've lived with for years will fight you. But the more you respect yourself in small things, the more the world will reflect that respect back. And here's the final piece, perhaps the hardest of all. You must face your fear of being alone. Because as long as you fear being alone, you will trade your dignity for connection. You will accept crumbs and call it love. You will stay quiet, just to be liked. But the truth is, only those who can stand alone truly choose who they want to be with. Everything else is dependence in disguise. From now on, every time someone disrespects you, you have two choices: stay silent and repeat the old story. Or speak up and rewrite it. You don't have to be aggressive. You just need to be real. Because when you truly respect yourself, everything changes: your presence, your energy, your gaze. And the world notices. Respect doesn't have to be demanded. It becomes inevitable. So if this message touched something in you, if it made you think, stirred something inside, leave a comment right now: I choose to respect myself. Let that be your first public step toward a new story. And if you want to keep going deeper, continue the journey. The next part is waiting. Because you deserve to reconnect with the most important person in your life, you.